Welcome to this week's EMBN Show. Martin, what do we have this week?
We are going to be talking about the latest eMTB releases, and we're going to be talking about this Martin Maes guy riding World Cup downhills on an e-bike.
Cheetah! I can't believe it. Turns out it's
a modified
e-bike. It's not actually an e-bike. It's the Allbear's Wild, which is their e-bike platform. He's got no motor or battery, so he's self-propelling himself down the hill. Bit of gravity, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible that he'd done this for a couple of reasons. One, the bike, and just being so ballsy to turn up on a modified e-bike and take on the Formula One cars of, so-called Formula One cars of mountain biking.
You don't race down on cars, no, that's cheating.
I think you know what I was saying.
Know what you mean.
And also that just Martin Maes just can turn up to World Cup down as a thing. I've got a shot of this.
So we actually spoke to Allbear about this. They told us this was coming. I had some questions for them. I asked them if this was part of their, you producing a downhill bike, basically. They said no, they got no plans to sell a bike or anything. It was just really part of their OLab sort of design and research, getting someone like Martin to try out the bike, kind of prove what they can do in the Allbear Wild, but just an experiment really, because they had to build a new linkage, because the Wild, I think, is 175 or 170mm rear travel. They turned it into 200mm travel bike, and they also built this kind of cradle for his bottom brackets going, where the motor would go.
Yeah, where it was all hidden. We couldn't see what that was. The pokery in there.
And that also inspired me. So at the weekend, you might have seen me try this out. And I do reference Martin in the video where I got my Canyon Talk on, which is basically a downhill bike. And I've stuck a boxer up front, some bigger brakes on it, massive 220 rotors front and rear. And I rode it at Dovey Bike Park with battery in and then with it out to see if it was like a potential kind of goer, basically, for having an e-bike that could also be a bike park bike if you wanted to fly away to the Alps, leave your battery at home and ride this thing. And it was surprisingly good. Even when I jumped on it and pedalled it, there was, I obviously don't have what Martin has. I still have to pedal through the motor, and it's surprisingly like hardly any resistance, and it felt great,
and it looked amazing.
I love that bike.
It definitely is a good-looking bike as well. But it was a really interesting test. Great that Martin could inspire you there to try something a bit different.
Yeah. Do we think this is the future of e-bikes where you could ride them assisted or unassisted? Is there an aftermarket thing where you could buy a motor mount for your bottom bracket?
Oh, I like that idea. Aftermarket bottom bracket for your
I feel like it could be quite an expensive thing. I don't know the best way of doing it, but if you had to like 3D, CNC or mill or whatever you have to do to a big lump of aluminium, that's not cheap, surely. But
no, quick release motors.
Or ideally a motor that had zero resistance, I suppose. But
yeah, that's probably easier, isn't it?
Yeah.
Great thing to see happening though. We've also got some great bikes to talk about this week. We've got the Decathlon E-Feel series, the Flyer Uproc range, SLX range, and we've got some new hardtails from Live Giant.
So jumping into Decathlon, as if you're in Europe, you probably know the brand. Sort of they're based in France, actually designed in France and made in Canada. These bikes. They've got two models under €5,000, so pretty decent on the price as well. The 900S has got an EP801 Shimano motor with 630 watt-hour battery, 29er front and rear, 160 front travel, 150. So right angles in this, it's quite a good look bike to be fair. And then the Rock Rider E-Feel 900 STE, that's €5,500. 24 kilos on the medium size. Yeah,
the TE being the team edition. The E-Feel 900S is €4,469. That is just a tiny bit heavier at 24.8 kilograms. And that has the Shimano AutoShift and FreeShift technology. On the Geo for the 900S, we've got a head tube angle of 65 degrees, seat tube angle of 76.5, and a 465mm reach in the large.
Decent angles, quite short though, I suppose, a bit more old school on the reach, I would say, so see what size you like for that. You can always size up a bit, I reckon.
Yeah, next up we've got the Flyer Uproc range. Swiss brand Flyer Bikes, their new range of lightweight eMTBs. There are 4 models in the range, starting at €5,799.
Yep, carbon frames, adjustable geometry, 130 front and rear. So obviously, I kind of spoke about this a while ago about the lightweight or the sort of lower power motors sort of suiting the trail bikes. I think that's showing as well. 29er, 400 watt hour batteries using that Bosch Performance Line SX motor, 250 watt hour range extender available. And like I said, it's switch flip chips. You can switch between high and low geos on that. It's 65.5 head angle on the high and 65 on the low. Reaching large is 491. It's pretty decent size on that actually.
Yeah, and like you said, there's 4 bikes in the range, from the SLX 410 to the SLX 950. Price range is 5,799 right up to €9,999.
Finally, new bikes this week. We've got some new hardtails from Liv and Giant. So Liv is sort of Giant's sister brand. So for women, that has the Liv Lura E Plus 2, 130 front suspension, 27.5 wheels on the smaller sizes. From medium upwards, it goes to 29, 65 watt hour battery on the Sync Drive Sport 2 motor, 75 newton meters for that. 74 seat angle, 66 head angle, so fairly slack actually. And then on the Giant side, you've got the Fathom E Plus 2. Again, 130 front travel, 29 wheels on that. The Liv bike, actually, they're both the same price, £3,299.
On the button.
Pretty good. If you're looking for a sort of do-it-all commuter, that sort of stick the kids on, stick the bags on.
Right, time for some cool places, and we're starting with this one from Daniel Robert Judd. Amazing night in the lakes. Look at that. Yeah. That does look like a great evening. Well done.
On Santa Cruz, you have a quick blast before the sun comes down. I like good vibes from that shot. Next one is from Ricky Evans 11, the Llanwano Forest, South Wales.
Yeah, my neck of the woods.
Steep up there as well, isn't it?
Dramatic, isn't it?
You want an e-bike in
Very
that neck
dramatic. Next up, greetings from España. Been riding my Megamo Aeron Force 40 for a year and a half in the mountains of Cuenca in Spain. Lovely cycling community there. This is from Martin SFS.
Dutchman.
A wayward Dutchman.
In the mountains.
Having a great time in Spain.
Kitted up on the Megamo.
Loving it. Loving it.
Backcountry action.
Very cool place.
Finally, not so far from here as well, Brecon Beacons. This is Sam Hemsley looking down on the Swansea Valley over Craigie Noss. Check that out.
It's very cool, isn't it? Again, my neck of the woods. It's like being at home.
Yeah.
Matt behind the camera be joining this.
Sheep
having a good
in
time.
the background, making you feel, very home.
Oh, how unoriginal. Right, let's look at some feedback from you guys. We've got some great comments and questions. This one, coming from our video, Upgrading, Extending the Life of Your Motor, we have got Duke and Dance asking, anywhere in Australia that offers this service?
Yes, do you want me to give you the answer?
Go on, there is.
Yes, actually there is. You may have seen one of his bikes appear in last week's show. They're a partner of a centre we featured in the show. They're called eBike Motor Centre, and it's run by a fellow called Paul Moyer. So check them out, ebikemotor.com.au. And actually, you can sort of search on there to see if there's one in your area as well.
That's great stuff. Not a question, but we're impressed with these numbers on what's the best e-bike motor. We had Hicksy Hicks saying, I had a Bafang motor. I've ridden it for 5 days a week for nearly 4 years, done nearly 30,000 miles on it. Services it once a year, strip down, clean it, re-grease, just keeps on going.
That is good going.
That is good, isn't it? It brings me to the question, how far have you ridden on your e-bike? How far have you taken it? 30,000 miles is a long way.
On one motor?
Yeah. So how far have you dragged your motor? Let us know in the comments if you've done an absolute mission with it.
3,000's my top. Matt, you must be getting on.
Like
600?
1,000.
1,000? Whoa.
6,000.
Nice.
Bike vault time, Neil.
I've seen
Like
them.
this lot. Good, isn't they?
I swore quite loudly because it's
Look
such
at
a nice
this
bike.
first one. Talk on CF9.
Yes.
Steve asked for a clear background photo last appearance. Awesome bike, so much fun. Weapon of choice for the wrecking Telford.
Wrekin, come on.
Wrekin.
Shropshire's my neck of the woods.
Sorry, mate, I don't know what you're talking about.
That
Wrekin,
is
Telford.
one hell of a steep climb up there, and it's the one place I've filmed a couple of times because it's the only place I will not ride on a normal mountain bike because it's hideous. And the Talk-On is the tool for the job.
Blur Battlefield, that is super nice.
And it's got one of those, what are those seat angle things? I don't know what they're called. What's the brand that makes them? But you can see how you can tip it down, up and down. Quite good for an e-bike.
Okay.
I should know the answer, but I don't. There you go.
Next up, we have got another Canyon.
Yeah.
Finally made it to Peebles after nearly 30 years of riding MTBs.
Yep.
And being able to ride my customised Canyon Spectral on.
Another dreamy spot for it. I love the
Lovely.
bike. Look at the Hope orangey bits. I really like the frame protection on the back, on top tubes, sort of a jazzy, sort of tribal design.
It's a pretty cool looking
think
bike,
that's
that.
super nice.
Yeah,
for
we're at
sure.
2 super nices already. Yeah. Next one, we've got, oh, lovely. Look at this. It's a World Cup downhill winning
Almost
machine.
different model. This is the Rise. Although we just talked about the new Rise version 2 just come out, but this is a great looking original Rise with the EXT shock.
Yeah, lovely.
Pinned 155 cranks. I don't know anything about them. Short cranks, good though. Look really cool. Hope Tech 4s as well. Really like that. It's got Enduro spec build, 540 watt-hour battery.
Next up, we have got. Actually, what are we going to give? What are we
Super
going to
nice.
give that all
Come
back?
on.
That's a super nice.
Yeah.
And lastly, we've got a high bike here.
Yeah.
Well, this is from
Another big
Deck Sawyer.
power.
It's the Like CF11 with Cannondale 35mm carbon bars. Super nice. And a Koyak E-Performance stem. Also Rhino Walk frame bag and a Fidlock water bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice. This is the memorial of the last dual pistols, yes, in Scotland. Submission by Deck
What?
Sawyer.
Bit of history lesson as
Yeah,
well.
a little bit of history
Nice.
there.
A couple of mid-power bikes there. Like
Yeah,
it.
Deck Sawyer, that is a...
Nice.
Oh, it feels like a... Yeah, it's nice. It's nice, let's be fair. Great stuff. If you want to get your bike into the Bike Vault, then of course the EMBN uploader is linked in the description down below. Great way to get involved with the show. And something I didn't know, if you subscribe, right, you get us, and you get notifications.
Yeah.
But if you like this video, your algorithm will twist and you'll not only get more of us, you'll get more of mountain bike stuff in general.
Well, that's good.
Good deal.
It's a win-win.
Brilliant.
Getting social. Hashtag
right.
getting social. Remy Italia has been riding in Santa Cruz bikes for it.
Nice looking trails.
Dreamy. I've ridden some
Yeah.
of those. Yeah, I want to get there. I
Love
didn't
it.
go. I was in flipping just down the road.
He's hauling as well, isn't he?
Yes.
Yes, very nice. Talking about hauling, Tom Cardy in Bike Park Wales on the new A470 line.
It's been revamped.
Yeah.
Need to visit.
He says it's like a supercross track.
Well, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah, it does look good. And lastly, you've got Loose Dog Lewis throwing in some shapes at Havoc Bike Park, Neil.
Yeah, I didn't know about that.
Have you
place.
ridden there?
I have not.
No, some good looking stuff there.
Sounds dangerous.
It does, doesn't it?
Coming up on the channel, well, Steve has been out in Finale Ligure checking out some of the race bikes in that electric EDR race, and there's another tech video coming this weekend, so we'll see some more of that.
Great stuff. That's it for us this week on this show, but happy riding out there on the trails, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah.